In a remote country largely closed to the outside world, a soldier eats only twice a day, yet no one complains. This isn't a reflection of contentment, it's a manifestation of doctrine. For the Democratic People's Republic of Korea (DPRK), the military is not merely an arm of national defense, it is the axis around which the entire state revolves. Former Army officer Lee Mingjur wrote that the military is the bloodline of the nation, an ethos that explains why this economically stifled nation still sustains the world's fourth largest standing army. In 2025, North Korea, under heavy international sanctions, somehow maintains an armed force of approximately 1.2 million personnel, about 1 in every 21 citizens. Including reservists and paramilitary units, nearly 30% of its labor force is entangled in military structures. This imbalance between national strength and military might provokes a recurring global question: how can a country with such limited economic capacity feed such a large army? The answer lies in a deeply entrenched, all-encompassing militarized system that channels every resource, institution, and ideology toward the goal of defense preparedness. Ranked 130th in GDP globally, North Korea's economic clout is minor. Politically, it remains sidelined by Western powers. Yet militarily, it consistently ranks around 30th worldwide, an incongruity powered by its military-first philosophy. Since the Cold War's waning days, Pyongyang has systematically remolded society into an apparatus for war. In 1987, the state's early policy of total fortification marked the beginning of what would become a radical demographic transformation. By 2025, 4.6% of the population were active duty soldiers, more than double the global average. This militarization is not voluntary. South Korea's 2024 North Korean Human Resources White Paper revealed that 92.7% of North Korean males aged 18 to 30 are forcibly conscripted. Female participation is also increasing. A 2023 amendment to the military service law extended women's service eligibility up to age 30 and mandated monthly military training, even for factory workers. Service durations have ballooned: 13 years in the Army, 10 in the Navy, ensuring many serve well into their 30s or beyond. Elite military families pass on this service like a legacy, while peasant youths, upon discharge, enter auxiliary units with annual combat training until age 60. This total war footing is not metaphorical. Farmers often head to the fields armed, and collective farm manuals include emergency instructions for air raid scenarios. The phenomenon of a country with 25.88 million citizens maintaining a massive military infrastructure has few parallels in human history. It reflects a half-century-long policy of redirecting national growth from civil prosperity to strategic entrenchment. Military readiness trumps all else. North Korea's military budget is opaque, but its societal design speaks volumes. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization's 2025 report, average civilians receive only 380 to 420 grams of food per day, much of it dependent on foreign aid. Meanwhile, the military runs parallel agricultural systems, directly controlling 87% of arable land. Military-run farms utilize imported technologies to boost output, producing yields far higher than civilian cooperatives. These fields not only feed the troops but also supply senior officers' households through exclusive military outlets, forming a closed-loop economic microcosm. This food first for the military model extends into energy. At Chongchong Port, diesel imported via Russia flows daily into underground depots controlled by the military, accounting for 43% of the nation's fuel usage. Electricity, too, is skewed. While civilian homes endure hours-long blackouts, military facilities like the West Sea Satellite Launch Base enjoy dedicated power plants consuming as much electricity as thousands of households. A militarized industrial sector reinforces this structure. In South Pyongan Province, for example, a fertilizer plant doubles as a battery component manufacturer. Factories are required to install weapons production modules, and industrial workers are trained in dual-use manufacturing. Universities, such as the Golden University of Industry, now include armored vehicle systems in their engineering curricula. These shifts, enforced by the 2024 Super Tough Response Law, reflect a nation where even educational benchmarks are set by wartime logistics. North Korea's military is also skilled in crisis opportunism. When Typhoon Sora devastated Gwanghwae province in 2024, 40% of the emergency food aid meant for displaced civilians was rerouted to army depots. Meanwhile, the Shangbeition Medicinal Plant Research Institute harvests wild ginseng, mostly reserved for military tonic production. Surplus is funneled through Chinese ports to earn hard currency for the state. The ideological backbone of this system is as robust as its logistical network. Military art troops stage holographic reenactments of wartime victories, dropping digital food parcels from the sky in symbolic homage to sacrifice. In classrooms, mathematical models are employed to prove that cutting civilian consumption enables the creation of more tank divisions. Civilian life increasingly mimics military operation. Workers at the 47th People's Factory shift seamlessly between assembling school bags and mortar parts. Pyongyang's metro staff, nominally ticket sellers, double as auxiliary combatants, their roles color-coded by specialty. Even agriculture is weaponized. Rice paddies must be shaped to facilitate prone soldier movements. Propaganda plays like potatoes and bullets dramatize food scarcity as heroic resistance, turning material deprivation into ideological strength. Across the nation, these cultural campaigns, complemented by grueling march of suffering indoctrination, foster a narrative in which personal hardship is reimagined as national fortitude. North Korea has thus transcended the concept of a country with a large military. It has become something else entirely, a militarized civilization, one whose very identity is inseparable from its armed apparatus. Every citizen is part of the machine. Every institution is a cog in the war engine. As Pyongyang tests soldier-specific rations in the lab, farmers still plow with 1940s tools. This contrast may preserve a formidable standing army, but it drags the nation ever closer to a dangerous brink, where the pursuit of strength eclipses the value of survival itself. North Korea's militarized structure is not just a policy, it is a way of life, ingrained into every level of society. From the fields where farmers carry rifles to the underground bunkers staffed by civilian workers trained in warfare, the country operates like a massive, unbroken military machine. This total integration of military function into civilian existence allows the regime to sustain one of the world's largest standing armies despite overwhelming economic hardship and global isolation. It ensures that resources, food, energy, labor, are diverted first and foremost to the armed forces, often at the expense of the civilian population. Through ideological indoctrination, institutional design, and sheer control, the state maintains the illusion of normalcy under a system that prioritizes defense over development, loyalty over liberty. The result is a nation that has redefined the boundaries between war and peace, one where militarism isn't just policy, it is identity. As the global community continues to monitor North Korea's nuclear ambitions and military posturing, it must also reckon with a deeper, more complex reality, that this is no ordinary authoritarian regime, but a society fundamentally reshaped into a war-ready civilization. In this transformation, the army is not just a force, it is the engine, the purpose, and the prison of the nation itself.